Yo, what up? Welcome to Mo Boxing No Problem. I'm Jose Martinez Jr. and I'm joined by my co-host for the night, Ernest, aka Papi Chung Yayo. Ernest, why don't you do your intro?
Y'all already know it's Poppy Chew, yeah, yo. Heavy on the Poppy, light on the mayo. I mean, light on the yayo. What's cracking?
That's facts. And we got a special guest with us today. We got Ashton H2O. How's it going, Ashton?
Doing good, doing great as always.
Glad
Yeah,
to
man, I know
hear
you weren't expecting that one.
it. No. Well, Ashton, thank you so much for making the time today. We're looking forward to talking some boxing with you. First question we got for you. I'm sure you get asked this all the time. It's rather generic, and it's how did you get into boxing?
My father,
Yeah.
kind of simple as that. He said I was like interested in boxing since I was 3 years old, but my memory can't go back that far for that. But by the time I can remember, I was more into basketball, football. But I guess he saw sparks of talent in that age, so he just kind of kept pushing me forward towards boxing, and it just led me to see what my potential was, and I kind of just fell forward too.
Oh, that's interesting. It sounds like you're
That's what's
doing
up.
what you.
You got coming from Skywalker. Salute.
Yeah, it looks like you're doing what you love, bro.
Yeah,
That's. I always love to hear and interview people who are doing something that they actually want to do. I love interviewing that.
yeah, yeah.
Let me ask you this question, bro. So where does your nickname H2O come from?
My dad as well. Well, really from my fight style, because how fluid I fight. No matter what style gets thrown at me, I'm still in my same flow state of mind.
Okay. Ooh, I heard some Bruce Lee beat like water. Uh,
For sure, for
all right.
sure.
So, and Ashton, going back to your amateur days, tell us a little bit about that. What are some of your major accomplishments from back then?
I'll say, well, I think almost every one of my fight was pretty much an accomplishment, to be honest. Like looking back at it, but the one I was most proud of was probably my first amateur belt. It was a tournament when I was 8 years old. Um, it was just I remember I had like two losses before that. I was probably like 8-2, but that two stung pretty hard. So being in that tournament and finally accomplishing that belt of mine, my first ever one too, at that was pretty special.
Hmm.
Definitely.
But in total, I think 12. I'm a 12-time national champion, two-time international. The international was pretty fun. I think the experience was more so, but at that time, I just knew that my skill set was on I guess, a different level, you could say. So my expectation was pretty high. Like I knew nothing less of myself, but to get a gold medal or whatever,
Right.
the come out victorious.
Oh, that's interesting. So it looks like you made your debut, pro debut, October of 2020 in Tijuana.
Uh-huh.
Um, you made that debut during the middle of COVID, bro. So
Hmm.
like, you know, I don't think we've asked this question ever, but what's the what is I mean, okay, can you compare for us the different feelings that you have from your very first pro fight inside of a COVID arena where there were no fans
Hmm.
versus having your first fight inside of an arena that was loaded with fans? Were those two different experiences for you, and did you get to relive it twice?
Well, it was kind of crazy. My first fight, I had a good amount of people because I guess out where I was at, I was in Rosarito. Um, they, I guess their rules wasn't as strict, so it
Less
was a good amount
restrictions.
of people. Yeah, the restriction wasn't as bad, so it was pretty cool. But like you said, the difference with 15,000 was, to me, it felt better. That's what I kind of expected and dreamed of. That's what I always envisioned. So if there's anything less than that, it's kind of like I feel it's like something off for me.
You gonna
Absolutely.
stay
And
away from Japan?
Speaking of experiences, Ashton, your first 5 pro fights were all in Mexico. How does fighting in Mexico compare to the U.S. in your opinion?
Um, uh, to honestly, kind of the same. To be honest, yeah, I wouldn't say there's no difference. I think just the fighters. I guess the opponents I was going against, they had some hard heads, so that was one of the biggest differences. Because the guys out here, they're kind of, I guess you could say, soft. Like I, touch them and they fold. So, but the guys that was in Mexico was kind of like I had to put some damage on my hands to actually put them down.
Right on, right on.
Man, I got to keep it real, man. Now we got to get to it because I know the people that follow me want to know, and I'm sure there's more like me out there.
Uh-huh.
First of all, I had you winning the other fight. I had you dominating it. I actually had you stopping it in the very next round.
Yeah,
We're in
yeah,
the Nations League, and I did pick it right. And
yeah.
it happened, man. You know, Body is a bad boy, and you made it look easy up until the point where you got caught or whatever. Can
Hmm.
you please explain your thought process around returning from a loss like that? Could you maybe kind of tell us what your maybe give
So,
us emotionals about it? Maybe you know what I mean.
um, I honestly, I feel like if the normal, I guess you could say, like I couldn't really put it in no other words. I think just growing up, I was installed with a mindset of like life goes on, whether it goes one way or another. So I just kind of pushed forward from whatever, even any of my most successful wins. I kind of just pushed past it and just on to the next. So that one loss, it was just okay. Man, like you said, I was dominating the fight too, so it was nothing really that stressed me out about that fight. It was just a slip up. So just be more disciplined, or just try to dial into whatever the mistake was a bit more, and like I said, just push on to the next.
Man, that's great to hear. I know me and Jose had a conversation the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about this very thing. I want to pass this to Jose. Remember, we talked about some of those fighters who've been in your position before, but let's see what Jose think about that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think we've had recent experiences like Jalen Walker. He had just signed with Top Rank,
Oh
and
yeah.
he got
Mm-hmm.
knocked out. But he's going to be back tonight. Proving a lot of people wrong because it happens. Alan Garcia, kid Kansas. Also highly rated prospect got
Mm-hmm.
caught. One punch sometimes can just change the whole fight. And what was the fight you're talking about, Pemmican Yayo? It was just in the UK where I think it was.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro, listen, this dude was getting beat pillar to post for 10 rounds, 2 minutes and 50 seconds. He was styling, he was dancing and hands down, and he got caught, bro.
Recently.
Snot bubbles, not cold.
Mm-hmm.
And he was beating he beat everything out of my man. If it was, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he got caught, bro. Just one shot, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's why we try to encourage for people to just support people regardless. It's like a sport. Your favorite
Mm-hmm.
sports teams lose sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's great, honestly, to be able to hear the perspective of a fighter prior to them making their first fight back after.
Yeah.
I still expecting you to style on them. No, I ain't gonna hold you on that.
for sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's kind of. I mean, there's a lot that goes in it for different fighters. Is one is always if it's in you. Like some people, it's just not in them. That they probably lose that one fight, just isn't in them to come back and have that same mindset, or they were probably just trash just from the beginning, and they were just a cover up. But I know that I'm all the above of a difference of a fighter, so none of that really affects me. It's just like I said, just pushing on to the next, and I guess continue the marathon.
Yeah, speaking of the next, we know you're excited to kind of put that behind you and show everybody, remind them again that you're that guy. So you're gonna be back April 26th, headlining that BOK Prime card in Atlanta, Georgia. How that opportunity come to be?
It's kind of crazy because when I was, I think, 16 or 17, BOK Prime came to me and my dad and was, I think they were trying to drop a fight, but of course my age was a factor, so it was kind of hard for them to do a fight out here. I think we were trying to do one way out in, I think, probably like India or something. Um, so we always had like a good connection with BOK Prime, and I guess they had a fight. I think maybe that pulled out of that exact date, and we was looking for a date around April, May, and that just kind of how it came about. Kind of just all aligned together.
Nice.
Interesting. So, again, we're big. I know I'm big on understanding like the psychology of a person,
Hmm.
and how they think about things.
Yeah,
So you're jumping right back into the mix, bro. Is there some sort of mentality that you carry with you? Because Nick Polanco is also not an easy touch, right?
hmm,
So can you maybe explain to us what the mindset of going back into there with a very tough opponent is like?
just like every other fighter. I well, not every other fighter, but every other fight of mine's. Just um, I guess victorious. That's all I see me coming out on a great fashion. Because me, like, I always got to see the advantage over somebody else. So whatever that is, I attack it to the fullest. Whatever my advantage over my opponent. But the mindset, like I said, whether it comes from sparring or in a real fight or even a video game, it's the same thing. Like just I see you just win at the end of it, just win, win, win. So yeah, it's like I said, it's hard to affect that of my mind state of becoming a different person.
Absolutely. And Ashton, we're talking right before we went live with the interview about your fight outfit for your last fight. Kind of, it was Inside Out inspired.
Hmm.
We're talking about just how good it came out. Shout outs to I got my own back for that
Hmm.
one. Any hints you can give us for your next fight outfit? What theme you gonna be rocking with?
Um, I guess the hint. I'm This one is kind of more so on his. On I got my own back. He's kind of drawing up something, but it's more so he's doing a collab with somebody. So we're gonna see how it comes out. I think it's gonna be pretty. Um, I guess very colorful. I guess too, like kind of inside out. How I had a
Okay,
lot of different. Yeah, so I guess something similar.
that's
Yeah,
gonna be
so we gonna
badass.
see. Yeah.
Nice. I got a question here for Skyrocket Boxing Media. It says, "What are your thoughts on Kid Austin? I know you guys were set up to fight, and then that fell through."
Mm-hmm. Um. Shoot. I mean, truly, I'm confused. I don't know if he's like when's his next fight. That's all. I'm just what's his plan? Like, I mean, like yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of just waiting on to see what his next fight and what's his plan. That's all. That's really all.
Well, we heard his asking price is 2.5 million, so we'll see.
Yeah, I heard that too. So that's why I'm kind of confused. I just don't know, like what's the plan?
Yeah,
Maybe if
absolutely.
I yeah yeah.
Hey, Skywalker, bro, I know you out there, man. You know who he's giving me you're giving me Tim Witherspoon Jr. vibes, man. It just seems like you're really cool, calm, collected, and just, you just kind of just move along, just slide. What it feels like.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, because it's not uh, boxing is not a forever thing. So that's it. I mean, it's not life. Life is bigger than this. So I can't be stressing enough for this for sure.
Shoot. Well, speaking of sliding, we already in 2025. It's April. How many fights are you trying to get in this year?
Well, now probably like about three. So this
Ooh,
fight, hopefully one more, maybe one at the end of the year.
getting active.
That's what's up. What's up? And Ashton, we know you're from Long Beach. So what does your Long Beach roots mean to you? And is it possible that we may be getting a homecoming fight for you in the near future?
Yeah, for sure. That was pretty much the plan for the return, but like I said, it just kind of fell through for Atlanta. But I guess it just builds it up even more for something more special down here. So hopefully, like I said, maybe the end of the year or even summer.
It's gonna be dope. And
Man.
a question here from kind of loco. He says, "What's your playlist when you go on your runs?"
Very diverse for sure. Like I couldn't even tell you. Like it's just all over the place. Like
Depends on
I
the
go
mood.
from I go from hip hop to R&B to pop. Like it's everywhere. I couldn't even tell you. Sometimes no music for real. Like I get tired of music after a while.
Man, bro, I mean, speaking of Long Beach, didn't you guys feel an earthquake just the other day?
No, I didn't feel it. I had
Oh,
the little alarm went off, but I ain't. Yeah,
okay.
you from
So
down around here? Like
no,
so, like
my wife just flew out there this morning. She's in San Diego
all
right
right.
now. But so I mean, if you could pick the perfect person to have a fight with, who would be your dream fight?
Perfect person. Shit, it probably would have been. It, it probably been like Pacquiao, probably. Like yeah, it probably been Pacquiao. That'd have been pretty crazy because I mean, I trained. I did like a few workouts with him. I had dinner with him. And just a bunch of stuff. So, um, for me being this age now, it's kind of crazy to see what he went through and now what I'm going through, and in the same setting, same sport. It would have been pretty interesting.
Hey,
Uh,
typically I don't like to I just want to
Absolutely.
give credit where
No
credit.
question. No question for. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
there's a guy named Dante's Boxing Nation. You know who he is?
mm-hmm.
That's the person who I found out about you from about 3 or 4 years ago. And to be
Okay.
honest with you, I'm really surprised that there isn't more of this of you out there. So we definitely really want to, we want to really introduce you to our audiences,
Oh yeah,
which
for
are
sure.
very, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then speaking of Pacquiao, this kind of ties into this comment here from kind of loco because we know Pacquiao, he went up what 8, 7 divisions. He went up
Yeah,
a
no,
lot of
that's
weight,
crazy,
so
crazy.
crazy. So
I don't know how he did
think,
it.
are you still 20 or are you 21 now, Ashton?
21.
21. So you're still growing, still coming to
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
your man strength. So
Uh-huh.
are you still making weight easy? And how long do you plan on staying at a lightweight?
Yeah. I think all of it really just discipline and time management. Like if you have enough time to get it all done, depending on what weight you come from, and staying at the weight. I mean, it would be nice to try to at least grab one belt before I move up. So hopefully after that, so maybe I guess in the next 2 3 years.
Gotcha. And a question for Skywalker says, how is it having a legendary uncle in Snoop Dogg?
Is
Snoop.
it? Yeah, no, it's funny for sure. It's definitely funny. Like whenever, like before the fights, pretty much always be in touch with him on the FaceTime, and he just the things he say, like his word choices. It's just always funny. So I mean, definitely a motivation of mine, an idol.
Uh, that's awesome. And legend, man. And I think it's Snoop in boxing. You remember that clip he did with oh, why am I blanking his name? But it was that Keyshawn Davis, Andy Cruz amateur
Oh yeah,
boxing clip
something.
where Snoop's like clowning. I was dying with that one. That was a classic.
Hey, we got
That's
to
what I'm
get
saying.
clarity on that though, Jose. We need some clarity on that. So I understand. This is for the people in the back, right? For the back of the room. I
Mm-hmm.
understand when Soup says nephew, right? It's not technically meaning,
The blood.
my
Yeah, yeah,
brother's
yeah.
kid.
Uh-huh.
So some
Yeah.
people might think you might actually be related through blood. Is that
No,
this?
no, that's just how I guess how they do it out here. I guess I feel like they do it almost everywhere, to be honest, too.
All right.
But for
And
sure, like
for the rest of the people in the back, when we say unk, it don't necessarily mean I'm
yeah, yeah,
giving out lessons again.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah, yeah.
I'm glad you clarified that because I think people probably would take that literal.
Yeah. We know we
Yeah,
got to make
yeah.
sure the information is clear out in these
Right,
parts.
right, right. I remember growing up, I had to tell so many people that he wasn't real uncle. Like I just got tired of it after a while. Just hopefully people start doing their research or something.
Exactly. And then Ashton, what would be your dream venue you want to headline one day?
Dream venue, probably state. Well, now it's Crypto Center,
Crypto.
Staples Center. Yeah,
That's a good one.
yeah. Or actually, I'm sorry, my bad. I'll probably be SoFi.
SoFi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I've been in there. It's pretty nice. Super nice, actually.
that's a good one.
Man, look, so another conversation Jose and us had was we these things we talk about commonly. We speak about the father son dynamic that's actually seems like it's blooming inside of boxing currently. Can you
Hmm.
maybe explain, what level of you know what is the dynamic between you and your father versus you and your father versus coach and trainee? Can you explain the difference between those?
Um, I guess you could say like really just when we're inside the gym, the dynamic change is more so like you said, coach, student. So now we're just in a boxing mode. We're not really too much on um, I guess anything outside of that. But when it's home, we don't really speak on boxing. So that's when we more so get the father son time or family time, like for playing a game or whatnot, or going to the park. It's like nothing related, boxing related. So it doesn't feel like a job anymore or like an everyday thing.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's good. Good you guys are able to kind of separate that out, so it's not always
Yeah,
just
it took a
boxing.
while. If it sure took a while. I remember he would have me when I was probably from 8 to 13 years old. It was just boxing home and at the gym, and like even sometimes skip school just to be our school work, like homework, just to be doing boxing. So they have to tell him over a while, like that's kind of like overbearing sometimes. Like it was just too much, too much. It was just draining. So that's when you kind of pull back and I mean, it helps it a little better too because now I just go harder inside the gym. So give it your all a few hours, and then when you leave, it's chill time.
Man, that's a heck of a lesson right there.
Yeah, great lessons. And then we've heard Ashton from other fighters we had on that they don't like to watch too much boxing, just because
Hmm.
they live and breathe it all day. But when you do watch boxing, like who's one of your favorite fighters to watch?
Someone for sure that just give me entertainment, like whoever it is. So, well, growing up, it was Floyd, but then it became like Adrian Bruner because he was at the Floyd style, but the crazy entertainment, like, and someone that keeps up with the now, like,
Yeah.
keeps up with today's whatever it is, like dance or um, just anything trendy. So that's who I go after or who I look for.
So you got a pound for pound number
Nice.
one right now.
Right now, I say Terrence Crawford. Yeah, I say Terrence.
Likewise.
He comes up a lot. And Ashton, come back to you. What do you like to do outside of boxing? What are some of your interests and hobbies?
Basketball, football. That's like pretty simple and easy. Um, I for sure play the game. That's or watch movies. I'm a big guy on watching TV and movies on Netflix or Disney. Um, for sure, I got into Disneyland for sure. Like going to Disneyland, like that's
Oh yeah,
like just like when I'm there for sure, it feels like I'm on a different planet for sure. Like it's just like I feel like I'm a kid again, I guess. So I like to do stuff that brings me back to, I guess, to Earth.
Speaking of Disneyland, have you been to that new Mickey Mouse Runaway Railroad? Have you been on that ride
Yeah,
yet? That,
yeah.
yeah,
It's solid. It's solid.
it was
It's
solid.
solid.
It's so solid we had to ride that twice.
Yeah, I've probably been 3 times this year so far.
Nice.
Just it's for sure a peace of mind.
Hey, let's try this real quick, bro. This is
All
this
right.
was this was definitely for you. So,
Okay.
okay, now you are going to tell yourself something very important before you turn pro, what is it?
I'll keep it for sure, short and simple, so that I could keep it installed into, I guess, my brain, and that'll just be discipline. The discipline, like,
Did you say keep your for sure short and simple?
I'm gonna keep it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure, it's short and simple because, like I said, discipline. If you don't have discipline, then whatever your talent or your natural abilities is eventually going to wear off, or someone's eventually going to catch on. So if you stay disciplined, then for whatever that short period of time, if you're in the ring for 30 minutes or if you're training for 2 hours, like, you got much more life after that, or much more of a day after that. Just stay disciplined for that short period of time, and you should be good.
All right.
Great advice there. And then Ashton, you're still writing your boxing story. Plenty more to left in your career. But when it's all said and done, how would you like to be remembered in the sport of boxing?
Um, I'll probably say, if more so, I would say remember in boxing, but more so just remember as in, uh, someone with a good mindset. I think that's what carries with a lot of people. If they have a good mindset, they're pretty much set.
Yeah, that takes you very far.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's an incredible message for those that are going to view it in the future. And we are over here. We always encourage people to market themselves, have merchandise,
Mhm.
promote things that are important to them. Even if it means putting your friends on, we always ask those things over here. So we'd like to give you opportunity to maybe give a message to the people. Is there anything that you'd like to say to anybody?
Um. Well, for my fans, yeah, I mean, they know what's up. But for the people that don't know me, hopefully they find something interesting to keep following me. Hopefully I inspire somebody, or motivate them to push on with the rest of the day and wake up and do the same thing the next day, or progress. Just take life day by day, step by step, and hopefully eventually everybody gets to the point where they want to be.
All right. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all follow him. Just check down here below. It's scrolling. Make sure you follow him and let's support him. And, let's do what we do here in the States.
Let's get into 1 million followers. You're on your way. You're on your way to 1
Yes,
million. So
sir.
let's get you there.
Right there.
Well, Ashton, thank you so much for making the time again. It was a pleasure talking some boxing with you. And we look forward to
Yes.
seeing you back April 26th.
Thank you. I'll see you guys for sure. Hopefully we can do it again after the fight.
Absolutely. Always welcome on here.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye.
You too.